Welcome back to the Upside Sports Network. My name is Michael. Appreciate you guys joining us on a Sunday morning. Watching the Royals versus the Blue Jays today. Jose Barrios takes the mound for the Blue Jays versus Bubek for the Royals. Now, the Royals, of course, are missing about 40% of their roster because the game is in Toronto. So that'll be interesting to kind of keep an eye on as the game goes along, just how many opportunities were there for the Royals to take advantage of. Of course, the Royals aren't playing great baseball this year. They're mainly trying to rebuild for the future, that kind of thing. But for the Blue Jays, this is all about going into All-Star break with some momentum. John Schneider is the interim manager for the Blue Jays after Charlie Montoya was fired a couple of days ago. Charlie Montoya and the Blue Jays were originally expected to be the favorites in the AL East, and honestly the favorites in all of the American League, and just weren't able to get the job done. But they played a little bit better over the past couple of weeks. Jose Barrios got off to a rough start this year, but finally looks like he's finally turned it around. Got 13 strikeouts over 6 innings in his last start. However, he did give up his 19th home run of the year, which tied at the time of an American League tied the lead in the American League. But we'll see what happens in today's game. Tonight, again, is going to be the Major League Baseball draft. Drew Jones is expected to go number 1, so kind of keep your eyes peeled for any surprises that might happen. The Baltimore Orioles have the top pick. They played a lot better baseball this year and are actually on the outside of the playoff picture, looking in, but still have a chance to make it if they're able to make another run. They just had a 10-game win streak and found their way back into the win column again against the Rays the other day after losing that 10-game win streak. They played much better baseball this year. As we wait for the game to get underway. Appreciate you guys joining us. It will be Nicky Lopez leading things off for the Royals, followed by Bobby Witt Jr. Pasquantino, he was the first baseman that the Royals felt comfortable enough dealing away the veteran Carlos Santana to the Mariners. Mariners, of course, won their 13th straight game last night against the Rangers. In extra innings, 3-2, I believe, was the final there. Oliveras is in left, O'Hearn in right, Eaton in center. Prado, Massey, and Furman round out the lineup for the Royals. For the Blue Jays, anyway, they will lead off with Espinal, who was selected as an all-star replacement after Jose Altuve was scratched from the all-star lineup. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is your first baseman, to be followed by Alejandro Kirk with his first selection to the all-star game. Bo Bichette moves up to the 4th spot today at short, followed by Teoscar Hernandez, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Matt Chapman, Danny Jansen, and Bradley Zimmer is in center today. George Springer getting the day off, and he also is not going to be in this all-star game after opting to not participate. Blue Jays taking the opportunity to give Springer some extra rest. Jose Barrios on the year, as I mentioned, just came off that 13 strikeout game over 6 innings. He's 7-4 on the year. However, the one disappointing part, aside from the 19 home runs he's given up, is that his ERA is at a 5.38 over 18 games started. Has thrown 95 innings, but has struggled to get through some of those starts earlier on in the season. That's why you see the bloated ERA. The home run numbers are a little bit surprising for Barrios. He is 28 years old and has 86 strikeouts on the year. For the Royals, it'll be Chris Bubek, a 24-year-old left-handed starter. He's 1-6 on the year, a 6.63 ERA. Started 13 games so far this year, 54 innings, 47 strikeouts, a 1.86 whip, so he's not able to avoid the walk and hit. Over his last couple of games anyway, just checking out his numbers. His last start came against Detroit. He went 5 2/3, gave up 8 hits, 3 runs, couple of walks and 5 strikeouts. A little bit better performance out of him anyway. The previous game, though, against the Houston Astros, gave up another 3 runs in 5 innings, gave up 6 walks, though, in that one, so it'll be interesting to see if he's able to control the ball today. Looks like we're getting close to ready here in Toronto, as Barrios is taking the mound right now. As they show highlights of his 13 strikeout game against the Phillies from the 12th. Got 6 of them via the curveball, 3 by the fastball and changeup, and 1 by the sinker. Had it all working anyway. Did give up again that home run, so we'll see if he can avoid the long ball today. The final game for the Blue Jays before the All-Star break. Home Run Derby is tomorrow. All-Star game is Tuesday. Let us know if you guys want us to live stream those or if you're going to have plans with your family. But we appreciate you guys joining us. Four-pitch mix by Barrios has struggled with his fastball this year. Hitters hitting 368 off of it. All of his other offerings are significantly lower. But it all starts with that fastball. If you can avoid the major contact with it, then he should be much better off. Lopez digging in, 240 hitter, no homers, 13 RBIs, and a 294 on base percentage. Umpire having a fun with the fan before the game gets started. And we're just about underway. Groundskeeper's crew coming out. A little too much water apparently there for the catcher. Soil a little too wet. They throw a little dirt out there, a little sod. And now we're finally ready for some baseball. Royals looking to conclude this 4-game set with a win here in Toronto. Lopez takes ball one. That one looks like a strike all the way. Pitch tracks had that fully inside the zone on the right on the inside corner. The knees. There's a fastball right down the middle, and I told you Barrios struggles with that fastball. Knocked right back through the box on the ground and into center field. Royals get their leadoff hitter on. Good start here for the Royals. You got to wonder if that his fastball for Barrios is just either I don't know if he's tipping it or if he's just not throwing it with the same effectiveness, if he's lost some velocity off of it. That's something that might be of interest for Blue Jays fans to dig into, why exactly Barrios is struggling with that fastball. Outside there to Bobby Witt Jr., and he's ahead 1-0. Witt Jr. on the year had a 257 average, 13 homers, 47 RBIs, and a 302 on-base percentage. He came into the season expected to be the Rookie of the Year in the American League. That honor looks to be solidly in the hands of Julio Rodriguez right now. Witt Jr. has started to play better over the past month or so after initially finding some struggles out of the gate. Another fastball on the outside corner. Witt Jr. pops it up. Espinal is there and makes the catch. One away. For the Blue Jays, it'll be Gurriel in left, Zimmer in center, Hernandez in right, Chapman at third, Bichette at short, Espinal at second, Vladimir Guerrero at first. Danny Jansen does your catching for you, and of course Barrios is your starter. One on here with one out. As Pasquantino digs into the box, hitting 206 on the year. Nice off-speed pitch, right on the bless me, right on the outside corner. Has 3 home runs on the year, 5 RBIs, and a .316 on base percentage. He is willing to work the count, which is very good for this young Royals team. Needs some patience in that lineup, especially after losing Carlos Santana, possibly one of the most patient hitters in all of baseball. I think Santana's only struck out like 17 times or something like that this year. Really good eye at the plate. Royals are going to miss that eye. Just off the plate, Pasquantino serves it out into center, though, and that ball will get down. On to third goes Lopez and is able to get in there without a throw. Lost his bucket as he went around second. Great piece of hitting there. Almost looked like a cricket player on that one, as that ball was very low and outside. Lopez took a nice sharp turn around second, was able to get to third easily. Royals have struggled for offense at times this year, so seeing them push the issue on the base paths, you can kind of expect that from here on forward for them. Runners on the corners, though, now, and Olivares digs in, hitting .305 this year. Right on the inside corner, pounded down the third base line, foul, and it's 0-1. I will. I'll be streaming the whole game, and then I'll try to do the MLB Draft later on. Appreciate it, Charles. Thanks you for joining us again. This one popped into center. Will this one get down? And it will. Nice high bounce there with the turf in Toronto, and it's quickly 1-0 Royals. Couple of soft hit balls on Barrios. It is. It's going to be at 6 o'clock tonight. We'll be starting our coverage probably around 5:45, just to kind of go through all of them. Orioles are number 1, Diamondbacks 2, Rangers 3. That's kind of your, if you're interested in Drew Jones this year, that's kind of the top prospect. That's probably where he's going to end up going in one of those 3 teams. There's no way he gets past the Rangers at 3. Orioles have split up their money over the past several years in the draft. We'll see if they do that again. First and second now, 1 away. 1 run already in for the Royals. Barrios, showing on the screen, has the highest ERA jump from last year to this year among all qualified starters. Charlie Morton, I think, is second on that list. Ryan O'Hearn digging in. He is the right fielder today. 184 average, 1 homer, 10 RBIs, 282 on base percentage. Grounded foul, and it's 1-1. Barrios has struggled with that fastball again today. Saw the number before the game, a .366 average against his fastball by opposing hitters. Yikes. This one fouled off down the left field line, and it's 1-2. Pasquantino on second. Olivares at first. Barrios up to 12 pitches with 1 out recorded so far. And the pitch. In the dirt, but did he go around? Third base umpire says yes, he did. It was very close. Barrios able to get the strikeout there. Looking on second thought, that wasn't very close. He went all the way around on that one. 0-2 quickly here to Eaton. Eaton hitting 111 on the year. Does have one home run on the year. That one very high, 95-mile-an-hour fastball out of the zone, and it's 1-2. Game in Toronto, so the Royals had to call up a number of different players. That way they could get a look at some of their prospects with the vaccination status of a lot of their players not up to snuff for the Canadian government. That's the end of the inning after Eaton strikes out there. The Royals do strike first against Barrios, and it's 1-0 after the top half of the first. Home Run Derby is Monday. We might cover some of that. Just kind of depends on how many of y'all are actually interested in seeing the Home Run Derby on Monday. Kind of have a watch party as we watch them knock the ball out of the ballpark anyway. The bracket this year, we'll have Schwarber against Pujols, 1 versus 8. Soto versus Ramirez, Seager versus Rodriguez, and Alonso versus Acuna. Chris Bubeck coming out for his first inning of work. Lowest his ERA has been all season now, down to 6.63. His first start of the year, just like Barrios, had a lot of struggles. Didn't get out of the first inning there against Cleveland. Pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave up 5 earned runs. Had a 67 earned run average after that first start. But ever since then, it's kind of calmed things down. Had a bad start against the Cardinals earlier this year, but most of the other games that he's pitched kept underneath 4 earned runs or less. We'll see if they can, or if he can continue that success. The pitch to Espinal. Espinal hammers that one out to left, but easily making the catch there is Olivares, and there is quickly one away. Again, your lineup for the Blue Jays: Espinal, who's headed to the All-Star game, followed by Guerrero Jr., who's headed to the All-Star game, and Alejandro Kirk is headed to the All-Star game, are your 1, 2, 3, followed by Bichette, Hernandez, and Gurriel. Your bottom 3, Chapman, Jansen, and Zimmer. And the pitch to Guerrero, curveball right on the inside corner. Guerrero Jr. questioning that call. 268 average, 20 home runs, 57 RBIs, 344 on base percentage. Another curveball, this one on the outside corner. A little tapper back to the mound. Guerrero Jr. loses his bucket, but isn't able to get there in time. And there are 2 away. Prado getting the start at first base for the Royals. Your defensive line: Olivares in left, Nate Eaton in center, Ryan O'Hearn in right, Michael Massey at third, Bobby Witt Jr. at short, Nicky Lopez at second, Nick Prado at first, Freddie Furman doing the catching, and Chris Bubeck is on the mound. Nice curveball there by Bubeck. Seems like he's working with that one here early today, getting a lot of strike calls. Alejandro Kirk, the most offensive catcher in all of baseball right now, leads in almost every single category that there is for hitting. But of course, he starts over half of his games at designated hitter. So is he really a catcher or is he a designated hitter? Danny Jansen getting a lot of starts. Of course, he just came back from the injured list, so I imagine even more at-bats will come from the DH spot for Kirk now that Jansen is back. Curveball there at the bottom of the zone, but doesn't get the call. Looks like the umpire's trying to get the higher strike call, which has been a directive for Major League Baseball. His might be a little bit higher than most, it seems like today, and the count is 2-1. The pitch, up and in, and it's 3-1. Misses with that fastball. Kirk looking for a pitch he can drive. Right there on the inside corner. Kirk trying to entice them to call a ball there, but it will be 3-2. Kirk will be the youngest the youngest player ever since Pudge Rodriguez, anyway, to catch in the All-Star game since 1995. Being a Ranger fan, definitely appreciated the career of Pudge Rodriguez. Of course, Pudge was a great defensive catcher on top of the offense. A little tapper out to second, and 3 up, 3 down. Royals with an early 1-0 lead. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Blue Jays today. Good start here for Kansas City. If you're just joining us, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We really do appreciate it. Trying to reach 400 by the end of the month. Let's see if we can get there. I know we've gained quite a few of you over the past couple weeks. I think we've gained like 67 over the past couple weeks. Really appreciate it. I might be off by that. Let me see. 71, my bad. We've gained 71 over the last couple weeks. Let's see if we can keep that number growing. We do a lot of baseball live streams. We'll do a bunch of short videos on any one of the 4 major sports: baseball, basketball, football, and the NHL. A little bit of news out of the NBA is that the offer sheet that DeAndre Ayton signed with the Pacers was almost instantly matched by the Phoenix Suns, kind of throwing a wrench in the Kevin Durant talks anyway, as now they're going to have to do the deal, at least for now, without DeAndre Ayton until he's able to be traded again in several months. But the asking price for KD is absolutely astronomical, so I don't expect the trade to be worked out anytime soon anyway. Donovan Mitchell, of course, had his name come up in trade rumors ever since probably about a year ago. Really kind of gained in fervor after Rudy Gobert was traded to the Timberwolves and his best friend on the team, Royce O'Neal, was traded to the Nets. He is expected to probably be traded now. Danny Ainge looking to flip over that roster like he did with the Celtics years ago. The Celtics' success right now, a direct result of what his decisions were to trade away Paul Pierce, KG, and Jason Terry to the Brooklyn Nets for basically their entire future. Nick Prado due up next. I like that. His favorite player, himself. That pitch misses outside. Showing highlights from the game on Friday when he got his first major league hit. That pitch is hit high in the air out to right. Going back as Hernandez looking up, and that ball is gone. Wow. Royals jumping all over Barrios right now. Barrios again struggling to find success with that fastball. And again gives up yet another home run. That's the 20th home run now of the year given up by Barrios. Yikes. I mean, it wasn't a great home run pitch to hit. I mean, it was at the top of the zone. Just a great piece of hitting. That Royals dugout is fired up for a Sunday game. Wow. That pitch well below the zone, and it's 1-0. Nick Prado, looking back on that pitch, it looks like it got a little bit more in the zone than I would have guessed. Little tapper foul this time, and the count is even 1-1 to Massey. Hitting .400 on the young season. He was one of the call-ups by the Royals for the series here in Toronto, after 40% of their roster had to stay back in the United States due to vaccination status. Little grounder just, and I mean just, foul on first base, and it's 1-2. Showing highlights from the Little League World Series back in 2011 for Nick Prado. He was the one who had that walk-off hit against Japan in 2011. Pitch on the outside corner, lifted out to left, going back, but there is room for Gurriel, recording the first out of the inning. It's been all Royals so far today. A little bit surprising, especially with as many changes as the Royals had to make before the series just to field a team. Royals leading pretty much all categories from hitting, among rookies anyway, as you might expect. They are going very young this year. Furman due up next. Fastball right on the outside corner for a strike. Prado all smiles in the dugout after his first career home run. This one popped down the first base line and out of play, and it's quickly 0-2. Berrios up to 25 pitches now. Furman digs in, and the pitch. Bounces in the other batter box, and it's 1-2. The pitch. Another one trying to entice him to chase, and it's 2-2. Curveball misses the zone there. Berrios trying to get that strikeout pitch working. Got to wonder if Berrios is just trying to go for that strikeout a little bit too often. That might be why he's running into some home run troubles, trying to power that fastball by him. That time he is able to power that fastball by him, and he gets the strikeout. Not very well located, though. It was up in the zone. Good pitch to hit, just couldn't get the bats around in time. So he was looking for another off-speed pitch. Berrios records his second strikeout of the day. And we're back at the top of the order. Nicky Lopez digging back in, got a single back in the first. Curveball right on the outside corner. Good pitch there by Berrios, and it's 0-1. Lopez hitting .243 on the year. Another curveball, little tapper, foul there, and it's quickly 0-2. Berrios throwing strikes today so far. Hasn't struggled with the walk yet. In his last start, he struggled a little bit with that walk in the third and fourth inning. We'll see if he maintains this level of control as the game goes along. The set and the pitch. Great off-speed pitch right at the bottom of the zone, and another strikeout there by Berrios. He's up to 4 strikeouts now with that one. So if you're a fantasy baseball player and you need strikeouts to get things done for your pitching staff, might be a guy you want to look at for the second half. You might not like the ERA or the hits or the home runs, but you'll get lots of strikeouts by the looks of it. And through 1.5, it's 2-0 Royals. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors so far for the Royals. Good start offensively for them. Buick worked a scoreless first. It'll be Bichette, followed by Hernandez and Gurriel. Appreciate you guys joining us. If you haven't hit that subscribe button already, please do so. sure you hit that like button. Really means a lot to us when we do gain one of y'all as a subscriber. Try to do more of these lives for you, put out some content for you. Let us know which team is your favorite, and we'll try to put out some content for that team. We try to cover all teams, but there's a lot of news, so the more that y'all tell us as to what you guys want to see, the more we can do. So again, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at UpsideSN. YouTube does send you notifications if you choose to put on your alert when we do put out videos. We put out a lot of shorts as to all the different transactions that are happening. We try to put out some longer videos as to hypothetical situations that might happen, say like a trade for Donovan Mitchell, what that might look like for the Knicks, stuff like that. Or here at the trade deadline, Joey Gallo possibly being moved by the Yankees. Blue Jays, of course, have not lived up to expectations, are always in the market for starting pitching, even after spending on starting pitching this offseason with Gosman. For the Royals, it's all about Andrew Benintendi and his trade market. He is not able to play in this series because he is held back in the States due to his vaccination status, so that'll be something to consider for teams interested in him. Two teams that were interested in him, the Red Sox and Yankees, both, of course, are in the same division with the Blue Jays. You got to wonder about how many games he'll actually be able to play as a result of his vaccination status. Swing and a miss there by Bichette, and it's 0-1. That one missed high, and it's 1-1. Hardy swing there by Bichette, and it's quickly 1-2. Working quickly here in the bottom of the second. Bichette hitting .259 on the year. Hoping for some improvement off his numbers from last year. Great pitch right at the bottom of the zone, and that's a strikeout. Bichette taking all the way. Expected something different, I suppose. Vivek's been working backwards so far today. Throwing a lot of curveballs early in the count. Throwing that fastball late. And it will be Hernandez due up next with one out. The pitch. Ouch. Fastball right down the middle. Foul right off the catcher's mask anyway. Catcher checking his glasses, see if they broke underneath the mask. Looks like that would have hit him right in the mush if he didn't have that mask on. Signals he's okay to the dugout. Umpire gives him a few more minutes to kind of collect himself, brushes off home plate, checks on him, says, "You okay?" and then walks around. Catcher's job is never easy. Oh, 0-1 here. Curveball off the outside corner, but Hernandez fouls it down the first baseline, well back into the seats, and it's 0-2. We saw the fastball in the last at-bat for the strikeout. We'll see if he does that again in this at-bat to Hernandez. Oh, they do go fastball, but he missed his location badly. Almost jumping up to catch that one is Furman to keep it from going to the backstop. And it's 1-2. Royals on top 2-0 here in the bottom of the second. Manufactures a run in the first, and then the first career home run for Nick Prado in the second. Hernandez, lazy fly ball into center, drifting over is Nick Eaton and makes the catch, and there's quickly 2 away. The offensive juggernaut so far being held hitless. Blue Jays as a whole have not quite lived up to expectations, and that's the reason why their manager, Charlie Montoyo, was fired. Montoyo, hired in 2019, spent 3 seasons here with the Blue Jays, and just coming into the season with as lofty expectations as they had, as much as they had invested in this team, they were ready to see them take that next step, and they obviously did not. They're fighting for the last wildcard spot. Gurriel digging in as that curveball misses very high and outside. Gurriel hitting .307 with a .791 OPS and does have 5 home runs on the year. The set by Bubeck and the pitch. Driven right back up the middle, hard line drive into center, gets down in front of Eden, and a 2-out knock here by Gurriel. First base runner of the game for the Blue Jays. In the last game of the Blue Jays we watched, he was 4 for 4. I think that was last Sunday as well. Two away now, Matt Chapman digging in. Fastball just off the corner, and it's 1-0. Chapman hitting .223, picked up his offense over the last couple weeks anyway. 15 home runs, 45 RBIs, and a .297 on base percentage. Toronto has picked it up over the last couple of games, has won 4 of their last 5 after losing 9 of their previous 10. Team seems to be responding after the firing of Montoyo so far. John Schneider is your skipper for the remainder of the season. Toronto does have a very difficult schedule down the second half of the season. They have the third most games against teams with a winning record with 53. Chapman serves that one into right center, and that one will get down. Looks like we'll have runners at the corners with 2 away. Gurriel coasts into third. Nice piece of hitting there by Chapman. If they can get his bat the way it was a couple of years ago before his offensive struggles in Oakland, be just like a deadline acquisition in my book anyway. That's the one piece of his game that he's kind of lost, is that base hit into serving that ball out into left. Looks like when he was sent to Toronto, put a little bit more pressure on himself. But of course, his struggle started before that, trying to pull the ball a little bit more. Danny Jansen up there. He's your catcher for the Blue Jays today, with Kirk, the designated hitter. First ball swinging, drives that one back out into center, all the way onto the track. Eaton makes a nice leap right in front of the wall and crashes into it, making a catch there. And the Blue Jays are held scoreless. 2-0 as we go to the top of the third. Blue Jays showing some signs of life now. Appreciate all 10 of y'all for joining us. If you haven't hit that subscribe button already, please do so. It means a lot to us. We cover the NFL, NBA, MLB, and the NHL. So stay up to date when you're at work, or if you want to watch or follow along on a live stream. If you're out of market for the Blue Jays and you're a Blue Jays fan, give us a follow. And whenever we do a live stream of your team, you'll be notified via Twitter if you follow us there as well. Whenever we do go live, we try to post on there to let y'all know what we're doing. Any video that we post to YouTube, we'll post on Twitter as well. Young Royals team on top of the mighty Toronto Blue Jays. Be a great thing for the Royals to actually go into the All-Star break off of a solid win with a bunch of their minor leaguers in the lineup today. Got to imagine they're going to flip Andrew Benintendi at the deadline. Give more at-bats out there to O'Hearn and some of their other young players. A few of their bullpen arms are not available today, as they were also held back in the States. It'll be Bobby Witt Jr., followed by Pasquantino and Olivares here in the third. Bobby Witt, offensive ranks anyway, among qualified rookies, second in almost all of them. At bats, second, hits, second, homers, second, and RBIs. Julio Rodriguez, as I mentioned, is the clear AL Rookie of the Year at the moment, leads in every single one of those categories. He hit that grand slam in the 8th inning the other night. 3-2 count with 2 away in the 8th inning. Just absolutely fantastic piece of hitting. Leclerc, who was on for the Rangers, had just struck out the previous 2 batters after the bases were loaded when he came into the game. That crowd was very loud after the Rangers had come back from a 4-0 deficit to get within 1 run. And then that home run there by Rodriguez was fantastic. I've seen articles about how they're describing him as a once-in-a-generation type of a player, kind of like Ken Griffey was in his day. Ichiro, in a different kind of a sense, was for them. Witt Jr. serves this one out in the center, and that one will hang up in the air for Zimmer. And that's the first out of the inning. And no, I'm not saying Julio Rodriguez is Ken Griffey Jr., but that tells you just the kind of company he's keeping in his rookie season so far. Pasquantino digs in, hitting .217 now. After that base hit in the first, 3 homers, 5 RBIs, and a .325 on base percentage. Thank you guys for joining us on a Sunday morning. Rios has 4 strikeouts so far through 2+ innings. That sinker misses the zone, and it's 1-0. If you're just joining us, hit that subscribe button. You'll be notified whenever we do another one of these lives. Keep up with your favorite team, and we'll try to put out some videos of any news that happens around the trade deadline. I expect as soon as the All-Star break does get passed anyway, we'll have nothing but trade deadline talk. That pitch misses by literally a foot outside, and Pasquantino shakes his head in disgust for swinging at it. And it's 1-2. You cannot come in the zone here if you're Barrios. And he does, and absolutely hammered by Pasquantino down the first baseline foul. Why he even tried to get it close to the zone, I don't understand. After Pasquantino swung at that pitch a 1.5 feet outside. Maybe Barrios just likes to challenge hitters. Maybe that's what he likes to do. But that's also the reason why he's given up 20 home runs this year. That one well below the zone. And swing and a miss for Pasquantino as he chased it in the dirt. And there is 2 away. Barrios up to 39 pitches so far, but that's his 5th strikeout of the day. He's got that strikeout pitch working. He's thrown that curveball quite a bit today, 46% of the time. Fastball around 30, the rest around 10. In the dirt, and that one gets away, ball 1. Olivares got an RBI single in the first, drove home Lopez. He's hitting .313, 3 homers, 12 RBIs, and a .368 on-base percentage. Fastball on the inside corner, popped up, very high pop up to first base. Guerrero is there, shades his eyes, and makes the catch. Through 2.5. Royals on top 2-0. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Royals. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays will have Bradley Zimmer, and then they'll flip it around to the top of their lineup again with Espinal and Guerrero. Espinal getting his first All-Star nod as a replacement for Jose Altuve. Guerrero Jr., of course, been to the All-Star game before. He will be participating this year. And Alejandro Kirk at the top of the lineup for the Blue Jays, all selected to the All-Star game. George Springer was also selected to the All-Star game, but he has selected not to participate this year. Appreciate you guys joining us. The leadoff game today. We're already in the going to the bottom of the 3rd now anyway. Cleveland-Detroit game has already been postponed now. No other games going at the moment. Checking in on the standings right now. Kansas City dead last in the Central. The Twins lead the division right now by 2.5 over Cleveland. White Sox were thought to be world beaters before the season started. They're a game under 500. You got to wonder how long Tony La Russa is going to hold on to his job there, as a number of veteran managers have already lost their job this season. They are 4 games back right now of Minnesota. The New York Yankees are 13 games up on Tampa Bay. They lead the AL East. They have been world beaters so far, significantly better than anybody else predicted. However, the entire AL East does have a winning record. Tells you how good that division has been. Boston's been playing without Chris Sale and Nathan Eovaldi all season. Trevor Story just went to the IL, yet they still have a record over 400, or 4 games over 500 anyway. Out west, the Astros lead it. 10 games on Seattle, 17.5 on Texas. Texas dropping the last 3 games to the Mariners, really dropping them back there in that division. Angels, we watched that game last night against the Dodgers. They have been the worst, repeat, the worst team in all of baseball since May 25th. And Oakland dead last out there. Looks like we're back here. Bunt there by Zimmer. And he is retired on 1 pitch as it was fielded by the first baseman. And there is 1 away. Espinal in there. Takes a ball very high. There's a curveball in the zone, and it's 1-1. That's set by Bubic. Nice curveball there. Nice hardy swing by Espinal. And it's 1-2. Espinal, a 270 average this year, 6 homers, 37 RBIs, and a 320 on base percentage. Had a line out in the first. The pitch, just off the outside corner, a little tapper to third, barehanded play by Massey on to first, and that ball gets away, but the runner will not advance. Nope, now he does turn out. Oh, now he'll turn back to first as nobody's covering first. Realized he'd probably be thrown out. Not sure if that'll go as a hit or as an error, but we'll have to see if he would have made the play. Nice barehand play by Massey, just a poor throw over there. Prado unable to make the scoop. Of course, Prado coming up from the minors for this series. Bounced just in the dirt. It was a little bit wide, so I'll put that one on the third baseman, the throw. They're going to call it a base hit, though. Looks like he might have actually beaten it out, even if the throw is on target. 1 away with Espinal on first and Guerrero Jr. digging in. As we mentioned, the Blue Jays have played better as of late after the firing of Charlie Montoyo. They've won 4 of their last 5 games with John Schneider installed as their new bench boss. Guerrero Jr. hitting .267, 20 homers, 57 RBIs, and a .344 on base percentage. Grounded out back in the first. The set by Bubic. Takes a long look over at first, and the pitch. Nice changeup right at the knees. Might be the lowest pitch we've seen called a strike so far today, but that was still definitely a strike by pitch tracks. He just hasn't been calling that strike much, and it's 1-1. The set. Again, the long look over and the pitch. In the dirt. Espinal bluffed and moved to second, but nice dig out of the dirt by Furman. 2-1 now. Royals on top. 2-0. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Royals. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Blue Jays. Kansas City pitching entering the game today has the worst pitching in pretty much any pitching category. That's one thing if you're a Royals fan. You've got a lot of bats coming through the system, but are your arms going to be able to follow suit? So far, that has not been the case as they have struggled to get the out. Pickoff attempt there, and it's still 2-1 to Gurriel. I'd focus on the hitter, though, if I was Bubeck. I wouldn't be worried about Espinal. One swing by Guerrero could tie it up here and get that Toronto fan base really going. Off-speed pitch just off the outside corner, and that one stays fair. Massey this time, bang, bang, play over to first. Not able to get it over there in time. A nice piece of running by Guerrero Jr. as he was able to beat that ball out. Just a soft little tapper that just wouldn't go foul. And I mean, that rode the line all the way down the third base line. I mean, 3 bounces all in the dirt along that baseline and just would not go foul. Lost his bucket. Again, running to first base. Might need a tighter lid there, Guerrero. Couple of tough plays here in the third for Massey. Both have been scored a base hit, but that'll leave 2 runners on now for the most offensive catcher in all of baseball, Alejandro Kirk. That pitch well inside. Kirk, does he go around? First base umpire says no. Kirk hitting .314, 10 homers, 35 RBIs, and a .396 OPS, or on-base percentage, excuse me. Grounded out back in the first. Toronto trying to claw their way back into this one. Had a couple of hits back in the second, couple of hits now here in the third, but no runs yet across. Ooh, that's a tough call there for Kirk. That one looked like it was just off the outside corner, but called a strike, and it's 1-1. Kirk grimaces a little bit and squeezes the tar out of the bat in frustration and digs back in. The set by Bubeck. And eventually the pitch. There it is, another one right on almost the same spot. This time does not get the call on the changeup outside the zone, and it's 2-1. Appreciate you guys joining us. If you're just joining us for the first time, hit that subscribe button and like. Really appreciate every single one of our subscribers we gain. So thank you in advance, and thank you if you have already hit that subscribe button. We really do appreciate it. Thank you. The set and the pitch. Fastball on the inside corner. Oh, no. Right through the wickets of Bobby Witt Jr., and that one will allow Santiago Espinal to score. Just an absolute gaffe there by Bobby Witt. That should have ended the inning. A nice double play ball. Kirk does not run well. I don't know what Bobby Witt Jr. was thinking. I mean, did he just take his eyes off? I think he just missed it. He flat missed it and then stumbled afterward. Went literally right between the 5-hole. Kicked off his glove, through the 5-hole, and into left. Guerrero advanced onto third on the play. Kirk has stayed at first. So runners will be on the corners now with 1 away. Blue Jays sitting on the board due to the error of Bobby Witt Jr. Bichette up next. He struck out back in the second. This one hit hard out into right center. Good catch there by O'Hearn, and O'Hearn, instead of trying to make a throw into home to try to cut down the runner, Guerrero at the plate. Guerrero not the fastest runner, but I guess they just wanted to keep Kirk at first. Blue Jays have tied it up here on Bubeck. Snake bitten there by the defense of Bobby Witt Jr. Got to think they're going to work with him a little bit more on his fielding practice. Turf does bounce a little bit differently, but still, you should have made that play. Easy double play ball. Wasn't to his right or left, was right in front of him and just missed it. Just a flat miss. Cost the 2 runs there. Hernandez takes ball one there in the dirt. Royals trying to limit the damage here in the third. Not sure if either one of those runs will go as earned runs in this game. They are counting one of them as earned anyway. I don't know. I still would have counted both of those as unearned. Even if you get the force of the lead runner. That would have ended the inning on that fly ball there. Another pitch misses the zone, and it's 2-0. Hernandez hitting .268, 12 home runs on the year with a .797 OPS. The set by Bubic. And the pitch. Just on the outside corner, grounded over to Massey, flips on to second, and they easily retire Kirk. That's the end of the inning. However, the error by Witt allows a runner to come around, and then a sacrifice fly tied it up. Royals 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 error. Blue Jays 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors. Difference in the game so far is that error. And we go to the fourth. Royals will have O'Hearn, Eaton, and Prado due up. Prado, of course, hit that home run back in the second. See if he can continue that hot hitting here. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll be doing the draft later on this evening around 6 o'clock. Baseball did a nice thing today anyway, this year, as far as with the draft. They're putting it on ESPN and MLB Network, at least the first round anyway. The Major League Baseball draft in the past has just been held on the MLB Network, and they had games going on at the same time. That hasn't worked out well for viewership, but this year they're hoping to really make it an event type of thing. Last game of the day takes place around 4 o'clock local time, so we'll see if they are able to conclude it and then start up the draft. Right around 6 o'clock, we'll be starting our stream around 5:45-ish, kind of go through the top prospects, what you can look for, go through what the draft actually means in baseball versus in other sports. Baseball handles their draft a little bit differently, as each draft pick slot is slotted a certain amount of money for that pick. So that's why sometimes they might not take the top player on the board. They might take somebody around the 5th, 6th spot, so they can say they're drafted a little bit higher if they'll take a little bit less money than slot value. So that way when they come around for their next pick, they can take that extra money and get a better player with that second piece, hoping to distribute their money between 2 players as opposed to one top prospect and then a lesser prospect with their next one. But we will be covering the draft later on today as we wait for the 4th inning to get started here in Toronto. Appreciate you guys joining us. Hit that subscribe button. Join us again for the MLB draft later on this evening. We'll do a lot of live streams as the week goes on. Of course, no baseball Monday or Tuesday, as there's going to be the Home Run Derby on Monday, All-Star Game on Tuesday. Barrios back out here for the 4th. Has 5 strikeouts in the game so far. Has given up his 20th home run of the year, though. And he's quickly ahead of O'Hearn, 0-2. Barrios up to 43 pitches. Working a little bit more efficiently than his last start. This one bounced over into the shift. Espinal on to first, and there is one away. Nate Eaton due up next. 1 for 10 so far this year, as this was his first series of the year against the Blue Jays. He does have a home run. Fouls off the first offering, a curveball at the bottom of the zone, and it's 0-1. If you're just joining us, Royals got out to an early 2-0 lead, and then an error in the bottom half of the 3rd inning allowed a runner to come around to score and another runner to advance to 3rd. Sacrifice fly, and there we are, all tied up at 2. Up and in to Eaton, and it's 1-1. 1 and 1. 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 Eaton digs back in. The pitch by Barrios, just off the outside corner. Again, that call is made by the umpire. He's made a few of those calls now. Eaton shakes his head in disgust. But as a young player, you just put your head down, keep going, and he does. Barrios, this one well outside, isn't able to entice a chase. After getting the call on that first pitch there, hoping that Eaton would be looking to protect and possibly chase that one, but doesn't. And it's 2-2. Right at the bottom of the zone, but he hasn't been calling that pitch very much, if at all. And it's 3-2. The pitch by Barrios. Fastball in the middle of the plate. Bounced through the hole, or right up the middle anyway. And Zimmer will field it in center. One out base hit there by Eaton. Gets his second major league hit of his career. A lot of rookies on this Royals team as they're looking to start or continue their rebuilding process. They have 40% of their roster held back in the States due to vaccination issues. Nick Prado with that solo home run back in the second inning. 250 average. That was his first career home run with a 308 on base percentage. That one misses off the plate, and it's 1-0. Going off speed. Confident player is Prado. The pitch. That one low in the zone, or low beneath the zone anyway, and it's 2-0. Barrios up to 52 pitches now. Appreciate you guys joining us on a Sunday afternoon. Just after noon here in Texas anyway. Watching the Blue Jays and Royals play in Toronto. Fastball right at the bottom of the zone. A little tapper to Chapman. Flipped on to first. And that's a double play. Nice play there. They were in the shift, but it hit right at the only defender on the shortstop side, or excuse me, third base side of second. 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for the Royals. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Blue Jays. And we go to the bottom half of the inning. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do so. Really appreciate all of the new subscribers we've gained over the past couple of days. Gained like 71 in the last couple of weeks. But let's see if we can reach 400 by the end of the month. I think we've done 71 in 2 weeks, so let's see if we can do another 50 in the next couple of weeks. We should be able to do that. So if you haven't hit that button already, please do so. Really appreciate it. But we'll be covering NBA, MLB, the NFL, and the NHL. Cover every single team. So let us know which team is your favorite, and we'll put out some content. Keep you up to date on what's going on with your team. Training camp's about to get underway. Quarterback competition's about to get underway as well. Seattle has a quarterback controversy. The 49ers still have to figure out their Jimmy Garropolo and Trey Lance situation. The Panthers say they're not going to name Baker the starter. They're going to have him and Darnold compete for the job. Cowboys are seen as vastly less impressive than last year after seeing a number of players jettisoned from the team. They are still expected to win the division, though. But again, everybody is either a Cowboys fan or you're not. There's nobody out there like, Cowboys, I'll take them or leave them. No, it's usually you're on one side of the aisle or the other. I think the division is absolutely terrible, but they should still have enough talent to be able to hold on and be able to get a home playoff game. John Schneider being interviewed. He's 3-1 as a manager since the change from Charlie Montoyo. He was named the interim manager on Wednesday. Appreciate all 15 of y'all for joining us. Thank you very much. Don't be afraid. Join the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. If you got a question about the trade deadline, about the draft coming up tonight, home run derby, all-star game, what's going to happen with KD or Donovan Mitchell, let us know. Lourdes Gurriel digging in. Swing and a miss. That ball bounced in the dirt and somehow bounced off the catcher's gear halfway out to the pitcher again. And it's 0-1. Very young Royals team looking to knock off the Blue Jays in the final game before the All-Star break. Nice fastball at the top of the zone. Little grounder over to Witt. Fires onto first. And Prado digs it out. Nice play there. Umpire says a few words to him after making that play, trying to encourage him. Prado with a great stretch. A little bit better throw might have been nice. He is currently second, I believe, in my opinion, as far as as Rookie of the Year voting. That won't get underway until September, though. Julio Rodriguez is the clear, obvious front runner, though. Matt Chapman up there with with a single back in the second. .225 average now, 15 home runs and 45 RBIs. The pitch. Curveball finds the zone, and it's 1-1. Chapman, of course, being traded over to the Blue Jays last year with his second year in Toronto. Or first year in Toronto. I can't remember. But in either event, just things have not worked out for Chapman so far. But over the past month, he's finally starting to make some contact. Had a couple home runs on Friday. 3-1, though, to Chapman. With his on-base percentage, you can kind of see that he does have a good eye at the plate still. Has a healthy number of walks this year. The lefty Bubeck dealing to the right-handed hitter, Chapman. Right on the inside corner, hammered down the line. Fair ball goes into the corner all the way to the wall. Rattles around a little bit. Olivares airmails a throw into second. But safely is Chapman with a one-out double here in the fourth. Blue Jays trying to get something going. They've had hits in all three of the last 3 innings anyway. Were retired in order in the first, but have found their offensive stride at least since then. As that ball bent around the field and landed still in the fair territory. Toronto hitters are the hardest hitting lineup in all of Major League Baseball. Average velocity off the bat is 90.1 miles an hour. Curveball finds the zone there against Jansen, and it's 0-1. Jansen hitting .246, 7 homers, 13 RBIs. Just came back from injury about a week or so ago. So he'll do a lot more of the catching, allowing Kirk to be the designated hitter more often times than not. The set and the pitch. Outside the zone, chased by Jansen, and it's 0-2. Jansen with runners in scoring positions, 2 for 13 on the year with a couple of home runs, 7 RBIs. Has struck out a couple of times and has a walk. Appreciate all 17 of you guys joining us here on a Sunday morning, watching some Toronto versus Kansas City baseball. 0-2 the count, and the pitch. Off the plate, away is the changeup. Not a competitive pitch there to entice a swing, and it's 1-2. Don't want to waste those bullets well outside the zone. You want to at least make it a somewhat competitive pitch to try to entice the chase. Bubeck just missing his spot there. Looks like he's setting up inside, and that one will be low, and it goes to 2-2. Again, we'll have the draft tonight for you guys around 5:45 is when we'll start our stream. Draft starts at about 6 o'clock. Drew Jones is probably the consensus best player in the draft. But again, as I mentioned, baseball draft works a lot differently than any other sport, as it's all about slot value and that kind of thing. So sometimes you see surprises. Bobek steps off here. Jansen chases away a fly from his eyes and digs back in. The set by Bobek and the pitch. Eventually. There it is. Little tapper up the middle. Nice jump throw there by Witt, and does make the play on Jansen. That's the second out. Witt able to make a nice throw there, kind of twirled around after he fielded that one deep in the hole. Very nice piece of hitting. That ball almost hit Chapman on the way through. If it did, he would have been called out. Nice spin around and midair throw. Strong throw over there to first. That throw was very close, or that play was very close though at first. Ooh. On third blush, it still looks even closer. In either event, there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Blue Jays are 0 for 3 so far with runners in scoring position. That pitch bends out of the zone, and it's 1-0. Zimmer up right now. If he is able to reach, it will be the all-star Espinal due up next. Fastball there down the middle, fouled back to the screen, and it's 1-1. Defense shifted a little bit to towards the first base side. That one misses up and in, and it's 2-1. Zimmer hitting 111 on the year with 2 homers, 3 RBIs, and a 210 on base percentage. Grounded out back in the third. Swing and a miss, unable to catch up to that 91-mile-an-hour heater. Just looks overmatched against Bobek so far. Lefty on lefty. Gotta wonder why he was drafted into the lineup today, even with Springer out. Maybe you shift somebody over and have a right-hander in there instead of Zimmer. Oh my, up and in. They say he does go around. I got to see that one again. That ends the inning for the Blue Jays. His jaw is literally on the ground. He turns around and says a few words to the home plate umpire. I mean, it was close. It was a lot closer than I thought, but it still didn't look like it. Says a few expletives over to the third base umpire as he walks back to the dugout. And that's the end of the inning. Decent game so far today. Through 4 innings so far. Bobek has a couple of strikeouts, while Barrios, I believe, is up to 5 right now. Score is 2-2, 2 runs, 5 hits for both teams. The only error in the game was the one made by Bobby Witt, allowing those 2 runs to come around and score. One on the air and the other one on the sacrifice fly right afterward. To the top of the 5th we go. A lot of afternoon baseball today as the baseball has tried to clear the schedule so that everybody can have their eyes on the MLB Draft tonight. They have theirs in the middle of their season, while all of the other sports out there have theirs after their season. And you can kind of understand why they have it in the middle of the summer for baseball. It's because all of the college baseball stuff goes on in the spring. College Baseball World Series, all those kinds of things. All those happen. Then you have the draft. Orioles, Diamondbacks, and Rangers have the first 3 picks. Those are the ones I'm going to keep my eye on the most, as that will be where all the headlines are going to come from. Does Drew Jones, the son of Andrew Jones, actually get selected number 1? What about Jackson Holliday, the son of Matt Holliday? Some good baseball bloodlines in the draft this year, so some names you're probably going to be familiar with. I encourage you guys to join us. Draft starts around 6. We'll begin our coverage around 5:45. big stories yet anyway today. And we're back here for the 5th. Rios falls behind Massey, 2-1. Massey, one of the call-ups for the Royals when they had 40% of their roster have to stay back in the States. Foul tap there, and it's 2-2. Rios set, and the pitch. Hard hit right back through the box. A nice base hit there. Again, a fastball finding trouble for Barrios. I don't know if he's just catching way too much of the plate with it or if he's just trying to challenge the hitter a little too much, thinking he's way better than the hitter and just not respecting the hitter in the box. Nice piece of hitting, though. And Massey is aboard here in the top of the 5th with a leadoff single to center. Beat the shift. Up next is Furman, the catcher for the Royals today. Nice pickoff move to the base runner Massey. I think if Guerrero actually tried to slap down a tag, he might have gotten it. Furman still looking for his first major league hit. Struck out back in the 2nd inning. The pitch. Tapped to third base, fielded by Chapman. A nice jump throw over to second. Furman, though, is able to beat it out to first as Guerrero's unable to scoop it. Probably would have been safe anyway, but nice play there by Chapman, able to make it even that close. Fielded it on a short hop. Nice strong throw to second. Yeah, he would have beaten it out. Most defensive runs saved by a third baseman since 2017. Nolan Arenado, of course, is tops. But second on that list, Matt Chapman. Third is Manny Machado, way down there at 30. Chapman at 78, so you can kind of see where the defensive abilities lie at third base right now. Chapman, of course, took over as the best defensive third baseman in the majors after Adrian Beltre retired from the Rangers and hasn't given it up since. Furman tries to steal second. Jansen is able to gun him out there, though. Told you earlier in the game, the Royals have struggled offensively, looking to force the issue there. Furman is a catcher with decent speed, but still, he was out by a mile. Nice throw, good tag. Bichette able to get this, or slap the tag down on him. Lopez in there, and it's 0-1 to him. Rios up to 60 pitches through 4 2/3. Lopez pops this one up into center. Zimmer is there, and the side is retired. Quick inning there for Barrios. Working very effectively today. 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for them. Blue Jays, 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for them. Checking in on the National League side of the standings anyway. Mets are on top in the East in front of the Braves. Braves have come on strong over the past 20 games or so, 25 games. They are 19 games above 500 right now. Only 2.5 games back of the division. Phillies are 9.5 back. Marlins have had a decent resurgent year. They're 14 back, 4 games under 500. And, of course, the Nationals round out that division. Dead last. The news yesterday out of the Nationals made the headlines pretty much all across the country that Juan Soto had turned down a 15-year contract offer worth $440 million. That comes out to about $29 million a year, which in today's market, it sounds like a good contract. But for the talent of a guy like Juan Soto, he took one look at the money Max Scherzer got and said, hey, this contract is going over 15 years. This deal is going to look like a bargain in 10. And while he's not having his best year, he's still a very good offensive player. Nationals are 1-9. They made all of those moves last year, trading away Trey Turner and Max Scherzer. They brought in Josiah Gray and Kiba Ruiz in that deal. But they're expecting an absolute historic trade haul now for Juan Soto after the contract extension was declined by Soto. His name has come up in trade talks. Supposedly, the New York teams have already checked in, and the San Diego Padres. In the Central, the Brewers lead it. Cardinals are a game back, though, and then the rest of the clubs are all rebuilding. The Pittsburgh Pirates are 12 games back, Cubs 15 and a half, and the Reds as well. All three of those are expected to be sellers at the deadline. Looks like we're just getting back from commercial break anyway. Out in the NL West anyway, it's Dodgers on top, followed by the Padres, as we might have expected. Giants not necessarily having the most exceptional year that they had last year. They're still 4 games up above 500 right now. 13 games back in the division. The division rounds out with the Rockies and Diamondbacks expected to be sellers at the deadline. Guerrero takes ball 1. Or excuse me, Espinal takes ball 1. Guerrero loosens his gloves in the on-deck circle. 2-2 in the bottom of the 5th. Espinal, the all-star this year, 1 for 2, got a single and scored a run back in the 3rd on the error by Bobby Witt Jr. Apparently teams are calling about Anthony Volpe, the Yankees' top prospect, in trade talks for him. Two and two now to Espinal. And the pitch. Fouled down the first base line, and it remains 2-2. Appreciate you guys joining us here on a Sunday afternoon. Decent baseball game so far. Both sides have had their opportunities. That one lined in the center. Nate Eaton comes on and makes the catch. 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th. Guerrero due next, followed by Kirk. Lubeck up to 64 pitches now. This will be the 3rd time through the order. Guerrero a 269 average, 1 for 2 on the day, singled in the 3rd and scored a run on the sac fly. This one a hard hit ball, towering high hit out to left field. Oliveira settles underneath of it for what feels like 5 seconds and makes the catch. Guerrero knows he just missed that one. A little bit of a surprising move. The Tigers have optioned number 1 pick Spencer Torkelson down to AAA. He spent much of the time up with the big club, but just hasn't really hit major league pitching that well. Maybe they're sending him down to give him some confidence during the All-Star break, allow him to play some games. Down there. 1-1 now to Kirk. 2 away here in the 5th. Swing and a miss. 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Right in the hot zone for Kirk, and he wasn't able to catch up to it. 1-2. A little bit of a pitcher's duel developing now. pitch. Off-speed tapper out to short. Bobby Witt Jr. whips it on to first, and the side is retired. Through 5, your score is 2-2. 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Royals. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Blue Jays. Appreciate you guys joining us here on a Sunday afternoon for the leadoff baseball game of the day. Looks like they're getting some games just about to get underway. Braves take on the Nationals, Red Sox and Yankees, Orioles and Rays, Phillies and Marlins, all set to get underway here shortly. Checking out the wild card standings right now. American League wild card, Toronto holding on to that last playoff spot right now, as the Red Sox have fallen out of the wild card position, with Seattle on their 13-game win streak, now holding a wild card spot. Cleveland only a couple of games back. Orioles, who just had that 10-game win streak, are only 2.5 back. White Sox, who are considered the favorite in the AL Central, are 3.5 back of wild card. And the only other one within striking distance, anyway, of a wild card spot is the Rangers. They are 7 games under 500, though, at the moment. And after dropping 3 straight to the Mariners, you got to wonder if they're going to end up selling a couple of their veteran bullpen arms at the deadline. Every team below that is going to be selling at the deadline. That's going to be the Angels, Tigers, Royals, and A's. With an extra playoff spot in both leagues, there's a lot more buyers than sellers, so prices will probably be a little bit higher this year, as there's only a few defined sellers. On the National League side of the equation, the Braves, of course, hold the top wild card spot. Padres in second, and Cardinals holding on to that final one. Phillies have dropped out of that wild card positioning anyway over the past week. They're now a half game back. Giants are a game out. Marlins are 5 back. Rockies are 6, but I expect them to be sellers at the deadline, as they're 6 games under 500. Arizona is already being looked at as a seller, possibly selling off David Peralta. Pittsburgh, the Cubs, Reds, and Nationals are all expected to be sellers as well. Little tougher to imagine which teams are going to end up making it in the American League. A lot closer group there around the wild card spot, as Bobby Witt Jr. leads it off here in the 6th, falls behind quickly 0-2. Doesn't chase that curveball well outside of the zone, and it's 1-2. Lazy line drive out to right, and that's the first out. Barrios up to 65 pitches here in the 6th. Very low pitch count for both pitchers today. Both might actually get into the 7th. Maybe Barrios, if he keeps this up, might actually get into the 8th at this rate. Pasquantino is up there. Nice curveball there, right on the outside corner, and it's 1-1. Two and one now as that pitch misses the zone. Pasquantino digs back into the box, and the pitch. Little tapper foul, and it's evened up at 2-2. Will Barrios try to power another pitch by him and make a mistake like he has a couple of times already today? We shall see. The pitch. Challenges him this time, tried to get him to chase. Popped up into center. Couple of steps, I mean just a couple of steps over. Bradley Zimmer able to make the catch, and Barrios gets the second out of the inning. Appreciate you guys joining us, all 14 of y'all. Been hovering around that 14-15 mark for a while now. Hey, Haven, how's it going? Olivares is due up. Swing and a miss. I should say a wave and a miss at that curveball. He had an RBI single back in the first. That pitch well inside almost hits him, and it's 1-1. Appreciate you joining us. Two away here in the top of the sixth. That ball grounded hard down the third base line, foul. And it's 1-2. Rios up to 73 pitches now. As a little bit of a pitcher's duel has broken out over the last few innings. Appreciate the new subscriber we just gained. If you're still watching, really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Nice pitch there by Barrios. That pitch was a good 2 inches outside of the zone, but he gets the call again. Umpire's been calling that pitch some today, but has been inconsistent with that call. The curveball is able to entice the umpire to make the strike call and gets the strikeout. Barrios, a lot more of a strikeout pitcher this year. And we go to the bottom of the sixth, tied at 2. But as I was saying, we're trying to reach 400 subscribers by the end of the year, or end of the month anyway. We've gained 71, 72 now, 73, excuse me, now with the 2 we've gained since we started today in the chat over the past 2.5 weeks. With about the same amount of time left in the month, we'll see if we can get all the way to our goal of 400. I have no idea how important it is that y'all subscribe, like the video. Really impacts the way YouTube sees the content, gets it out to more people. That way you guys can have a bigger chat group whenever we do watch these games. We try to do a lot of live streams for you during the week. Bring you all the content you want from your favorite team. Any news that's out there, try to make a video on it. Only news today is that the Yankees in their trade talks are being asked for Anthony Volpe, and so far has been unrelenting to discuss him, let alone include him in a deal. You'd have to imagine he would have to headline the package along with Peraza probably for a guy like Juan Soto. Maybe you have to give up all 3 of your top prospects if you're the Yankees for somebody like that. But I don't see why the Yankees should even go after Soto with Stanton and Judge already on the roster. They still need to lock up Aaron Judge before they decide to do anything else with an outfielder, honestly. Maybe a trade for a contact hitter, sure. Maybe to trade away Joey Gallo to save money, sure. But if you're talking a long-term investment, get Aaron Judge done first. The man's the AL MVP. Come on now. Bichette digs in here in the bottom of the sixth. Bubek back out there again. First pitch swinging. Right to Bobby Witt Jr. Whips it on to first. And 1 out is retired here. Hernandez is due. Digs in and takes ball one well outside of the zone. Hernandez 0 for 2 on the day so far. Good start here today by Bubic, allowing the Royals to not have to use that bullpen too much, as they don't have their normal complement back there with, again, all the roster restrictions they have. The Dome is open today in Toronto. That pitch in the dirt, and it's 2-1. 80-mile-an-hour curveball misses well low of the zone. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. A mighty hack there by Hernandez. And it's 2-2. Bubic so far today, 5 1/3, 5 hits, 2 runs, both of them unearned. Swing and a miss there. Nice strikeout there. That's his 3rd strikeout of the day so far today. Nice piece of pitching there. Royals getting a great performance out of their starter today. Really improving off of the numbers he's had so far this year. Maybe, just maybe, he could be part of the future for the Royals, as his season started off very rough, as we mentioned earlier. Wasn't able to get out of the first in his first start of the year. Gurriel digs in, takes a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, belt high on the outside corner for a strike. Again, MLB Draft is tonight. We'll have another live stream during that, starting around 5:45. That fastball missing up high, and it's 1-1. Gurriel, a 308 hitter, had a single back in the second, 5 home runs, 36 RBIs. And the pitch. Grounder right to Witt again. Flipped on to first, a little high, but nice stretch there by Prado, able to bring it down. And through 6, we're still tied at 2. Great job of pitching by both Bubic and Barrios, able to settle down after some early trouble. Bobby Witt Jr., after making that error and giving up the 2 unearned runs as a result, that tied the game, has played really good defense since then. Had a number of opportunities so far to make another error and just has been really strong defensively since. For the Royals, they will have O'Hearn, Eaton, and Prado, 5, 6, and 7 due up in their lineup. Barrios probably going to come out again here in the 7th, as he's only in the 70, around the 70 pitch mark or so. Pitched very well. Able to lower that ERA down to 5.24. Has given up 6 hits, though, has 6 strikeouts, and was aided by 1 double play in the game so far. For the Royals, Bubic, as we mentioned, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, both of them were unearned, and 3 strikeouts. Has lowered his ERA under 6 for the first time all season. Few games have already gotten underway in the top of the first. In all of them are scoreless right now, with Atlanta at least having a base runner with 2 outs. Nothing else happening in any of the other games yet. Yankees, Red Sox, Garrett Cole getting a start today to try to send the Yankees into the break with a nice win over their rival. If you're just joining us for the first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Keep you up to date on all your news from your favorite team. Let us know what your favorite team is, and we'll try to post more information about your team whenever any news does happen. That pitch misses well outside, ball 1. Good start today by Barrios. And the pitch. Nice curveball, bends in there at the outside corner, and it's 1-1. Hearn hitting 179 with a home run, 10 RBIs, and a 226 on base percentage. Not a guy who works the count a whole lot. That one bounces in front of home plate, and it's 2-1. Nice hard hit ball down the line, foul of first base anyway. That pitch well inside, and it's 3-2 now to O'Hearn. News out of the British Open anyway. Cameron Smith wins. Gets his first major after scoring a final round 64. Great job for him. He's come close in a couple of the other majors this year. Tiger Woods, of course, did not make the cut. Emotional as he walked off the other day. That one fouled off again by O'Hearn. Barrios set, and the pitch. Misses low there. Hearn does work the walk this time. First walk of the game, honestly. A little bit surprising as both pitchers had struggled with command coming in. And with that, Schneider will go over the phone and get the bullpen going here a little bit. Pitch count up to 83. Still very manageable, though. Pitching coach does come out. A lot of the Royals that have been called up because of the vaccination issues of their normal roster have had to come through for their team. With their first major league hit in this series, we've already seen Michael Massey get his first hit, Nick Pratto get his first hit, and Nate Eaton, who's coming up next, had that home run on Thursday. 4-game series, so Royals had to make a number of changes anyway. With that many people being out due to their COVID vaccination status. The set by Barrios flipped over onto first. A good pickoff move on O'Hearn, but was safe. Looks like they do get somebody up there. Looks like Meza. Eaton takes right on the outside corner for a strike there. Eaton today 1 for 2, got a single back in the fourth, raised his average up to 182. Playing center field today for the Royals. And the pitch bunted. Foul. And it's 0-2. A little bit of a surprise there, trying to bunt for a hit. Just got a little bit on top of it and pushed it foul. Wasn't able to quite square or get square enough on it. Two to two here in the top of the seventh. No outs. Runner on first. Another toss over to first. No, Hearn is back safely. Barrios climbs back on the mound. And the pitch. Fastball misses away, and it's 1-2. Barrios' average as he goes against the lineup for the first time, 289. Struggles early, it sounds like. Second time through, 237. And third time through a 326 average. That pitch bounces right at the plate, but Eaton takes a hearty swing and misses. Looks like he might have made contact, but just missed it. And I mean just. Maybe missed it by about an inch or two. Chasing that pitch down in the dirt. That's the 7th strikeout today for Barrios. Up to 87 pitches now. Nice hard hit ball between the first and second baseman into right. Beats the shift. Nice piece of hitting there. And Prado is aboard again with his second hit of the day. Had that home run back in the second inning. Looks like they will indeed pull out Barrios. A little bit surprising is that they don't allow him to go a little bit further. Maybe they're just seeing that he's wearing down a little bit more than I am, but he doesn't look like he's any less effective. The walk that he had was a full count walk. The base hit that just happened was a bleeder through the right side. But in a 2-2 game, you can't take any chances. Tim Meza coming on with a 2.7 ERA. He will face Michael Massey, who's 1 for 2 on the day. Average up to 429 for him and 858 on base percentage, or OPS. He will be followed by Furman and Lopez. Royals trying to scratch across 1 run, see if they can get the lead here in Toronto. Wrap up this 4-game stand in Toronto with a victory. Let us know where you're watching from. Really appreciate all you guys for joining us while we wait for the 7th inning to get back underway. Pitching change. Barrios had 7 strikeouts on the day, was pitching very effectively. Only issued the 1 walk here in the top of the 7th. Got through 6 1/3 anyway. Hey, Kent. Nice to see you again. I think we're all ready for the draft tonight. Baseball finally doing right by the draft and clearing out the schedule so that it's the one thing that everybody watches. I remember watching Ranger games when I was growing up and hearing about the game or hearing about the draft through the baseball announcers, how that which picks they were taking, that kind of thing. And while that was cool and all, added to the value of the game, it did nothing for the value of the draft. Finally, baseball making the draft an important part of the baseball calendar, allowing it to be on the weekend of all-star activities when all eyes are going to be on the baseball home run derby. And then the All-Star game. The home run derby this year should be very good. The one addition I might add is if they got Aaron Judge to participate, but he said he's never going to participate again in it. Massey pops this one down the third base line. Chapman over, makes a nice catch. There you can kind of see why he is the best defensive third baseman in the American League. Nice play there. There is 2 away. 1 pitch, 1 out for Meza. There are 2 away here in the 7th. Great defensive play there by Chapman. Feel like you get cheated on that one if you're Massey anyway. Little pop-up that's foul, and you don't even get to see a second pitch. But it will be Furman. He's hit into a fielder's choice today. Base hit here would be great for the Royals. Probably would score O'Hearn from second. Looks like Hicklin has actually come on as a pinch runner anyway for him. Meza bluffs a move over to second. And we'll wait a second while everybody digs back in. The set by Meza. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Throw back over to first and picked off of first base. Prado whips his head back around to the first base umpire and stares at him incredulously. Ooh, that was pretty darn close. Let me see. The throw beats him. Yeah, he was tagged out right under the arm as he was trying to slide back in by Guerrero. I think if he got down lower, he probably would have been safe. But that one hurts if you're a Royals fan. Looks like we may have a challenge, but I think they're going to lose this challenge. That's the second base runner that's been picked off by Danny Jansen in this game. Furman was thrown out trying to steal second base, and now picked off of first is Nick Prado. And just like that, the Royals are retired in the top half of the 7th. To the bottom half we go. Furman was lifted for pinch hitter Emmanuel Rivera. So I think they actually did announce that Rivera was going to be the pinch hitter so Furman is actually going to be out of the game now. Didn't even get to swing the bat. Might as well just left him up there. Hicklin stays in the game in right, excuse me. And Emmanuel Rivera, who didn't even get to lift the bat off his shoulder after being announced as a pinch hitter, has been replaced by Sebastian Rivero as the catcher. Looks like it'll be Chapman, Jansen, and Zimmer for the Blue Jays. Macy, a pinch hitter for Zimmer in this inning. Zimmer hitting 110 on the year. Looks like Bubek is indeed coming out for the bottom of the 7th. He's at 78 pitches. 3 strikeouts, no earned runs in the game so far today. 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Royals. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Blue Jays. Royals make a couple outs on the bases today. Told you earlier that they may try to force the issue on the base paths, and honestly, it's just been poor base running that's cost them so far. First pitch to Chapman is a strike. Another one finds the zone, fouled away by Chapman. It's quickly 0-2. Veteran manager Matheny for the Royals. John Schneider in his 6th game as manager for the Blue Jays. 0-2 to Chapman, and the pitch. At the top of the zone, fouled away by Chapman, and it remains 0-2. Thank you guys for joining us again. Appreciate it. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do so. Really is important to us, and we appreciate all of you guys for joining us here at the Upside. The pitch by Bubeck. Eventually. At the top of the zone, Chapman gets behind this one. However, it's just a nice deep fly ball. Eaton is there and makes the catch. Off the bat, it looked like he might have gotten a little bit more of it. But that's the first out of the inning. Best start of the year by far for Bubeck here. 6 1/3, no earned runs, as they show the new catcher, Sebastian Rivero. Curveball there at the top of the zone to Jansen, finds it, and it's 0-1. Misses off the outside corner, and it's 1-1. Blue Jays third in the AL East. They currently hold the last wild card spot in the American League. Swing and a miss at that one down low. Jansen falling behind here, 1-2. Jansen having a great day behind the plate. See if he can get the Blue Jays on top here with one swing. The pitch, well outside by at least a foot, 2-2. Bubeck set, and the pitch. Oh, he went around on that one. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. That was probably about 6 to 8 inches up and away. Swing and a miss as he was gearing up for that fastball, soft fastball, and just couldn't keep it from going around. That wasn't even close to being able to hold up. That was at least a 3/4 swing. Jansen hoping beyond hope that he wouldn't be called for it. Both the home plate umpire and the first base umpire say, nope, you swung, buddy. 2 away here. 87 pitches now for Bubeck. We'll see if he comes out for the 8th, if he's able to retire Zimmer. That one plunks Zimmer off the forearm. Not what you want to see if you're a Royal fan. Curveball doesn't bend into the zone. I mean, he kind of stuck it out there, but not really. So no need to challenge there. You can't move into the path of the pitch just to get the hit by pitch, but you can choose to not move or try to get out of the way, and it still will be called as a hit by pitch. That one went off his elbow protector. Espinal digging back in, the top of the order for the Blue Jays, takes strike one on the inside corner. Changeup right at the knees. 1 for 3 today, a single back in the third, and scored a run on the error by Witt. 272 average, 6 homers, 37 RBIs. As he digs back in. Bubeck set. And the pitch. Nope. He flips it over to first instead. Zimmer's back in easily. Got to wonder if they're going to try to get Zimmer in scoring position with 2 outs here. The set by Bubeck. And the pitch. Espinal went around for a bunt, but that was right in the zone. And it's 0-2. Looks like Espinal thought that one was going to be a ball, and so he pulled the bat back. He has really good speed and looked like he might have been trying to sneak one past the Royals, catch him sleeping, as the infield is all the way back on the on the grass anyway. So a bunt, he probably would have been safe as that would have been a long run in. 0-2 the count though, and the pitch. Nope. Another toss over to first. Zimmer literally takes a half step back and is back in there safely. The set and the pitch. Well outside, and it's 1-2. Looks like he's starting to wear down a little bit now. This might be the final inning for Bubeck. This one will be his 92nd pitch of the game. Great start today for him. The set and the pitch. Bottom of the zone, Espinal lifts it out to right, just one step over. And Hicklin records the out. To the top of the 8th we go. Tied at 2. 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Royals. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Blue Jays. Appreciate all you guys joining us today. Again, we'll be covering the MLB Draft tonight at about 5:45. We'll go on. Draft doesn't start till 6. That way we can kind of give you the rundown of who to keep your eyes out for. Of course, the top of the draft isn't always the best stories. You also get to see a lot of the later round picks make a big impact on your team. So no matter where you are in the draft, something to keep an eye out for. Just waiting for him to get back from commercial break anyway. It'll be Rivero, followed by Lopez and Witt for the Royals in the top of the 8th. Remember, Emmanuel Rivera came on for Furman in the top of the 7th anyway. Never got to lift the bat off his shoulders and was replaced defensively by Rivero. Nicky Lopez has had a decent day today, 1 for 3, and then Witt 0 for 3. Of course, had that error back in the 3rd that allowed both of the Blue Jay runners to score. That's kind of your difference right now, why we don't see the Royals in front. Rivero digs in. Meza back out there for a second inning of work. Nice contact there. Fouled back to the screen, and it's 0-1. Beneath the zone, but fouled away again, and it's quickly 0-2. Rivero looking for his first hit of the season. That one in the dirt again, and it's 1-2. The set and the pitch. Right at the top of the zone. Honestly, just at the very tippy top, maybe missed the zone by a fraction. But they've been calling the higher strike with that lower strike zone not being called today, and that's the first out of the inning. 94-mile-an-hour sinker at the top of the zone. I don't know if that was really a sinker or a fastball. We'll call it a sinker, though. Nicky Lopez digs in. Rolls over it on the first pitch to second. On to first, and there are two away. Last hope here in the eighth is Bobby Witt Jr. for the Royals, hoping to break this game. Interesting stat for the Royals. On their current roster, the most at-bats by a Kansas City Royal, Nicky Lopez, 1,300, Ryan O'Hearn at 902, and Zach Greinke at 521. Fourth on that list, Bobby Witt Jr. at 338, and all of them this year. Tells you how much MLB experience this lineup has right now. Pounded foul there by Witt, and it's 0-1. Hitting .255 on the year, 13 home runs, 47 RBIs, and a .300 on-base percentage. Popped out and has a couple of lineouts in the game today. Mesa set, and the pitch. Well off the plate, and it's 1-2, or excuse me, 1-1. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, able to power that sinker by him. I'm still going to call that a fastball, though. One strike away from completing a shutdown inning for Mesa. Ever since Barrios was your starter today, he's come in and pitched very well. That one lifted, foul by Witt Jr., and it remains 1-2. Blue Jays will have Guerrero, Kirk, and Bichette due up in the bottom of the eighth, part of the order. That one well outside, but fouled away by Witt, and it's still 1-2. Last game for both teams before the All-Star break. That one misses outside, and it's 2-2. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Mesa pumped after that one, gets the strikeout of Witt. Royals go down without much fight here in the eighth. And we go to the bottom of the eighth, tied at 2. Let us know who you're cheering for. It will be Vladimir Guerrero Jr., followed by Alejandro Kirk and Bo Bichette in the bottom of the eighth. 2 All-Stars due up for the Blue Jays. See if they can keep it from going to extras and plate a run here in the bottom of the eighth. Guerrero 1 for 3 on the day. Kirk and Bichette both hitless today. Guerrero, of course, coming around to score on that error earlier. Be interesting to see if Bubek comes out here for this 8th inning as well. Doesn't look like he will, though. Looks like Wyatt Mills is the guy they call upon, a 3.77 ERA. Chris Bubak had a fantastic start today, something to really build off of to go into the second half of the season. If you're a Royals fan, it's all about progress, development, and you saw a lot of progress today from Bubak, able to go into Toronto and perform. Hmm. All right, and here we go. First pitch to Guerrero from the side armor. Well, I wouldn't even say side armor. From the submariner. That almost came all the way off the turf. 14 games from Mills so far this year, has a 3.77 ERA in 14 and a third innings. And the pitch to Guerrero. Off the outside corner, able to lift it out, though, into center field. A nice base hit there by Vlad Guerrero Jr. A little stinger off the end of the bat. Shakes his hand off. Probably still feels the vibrations in the bat after hitting that one off the very end of it. And I mean off the very end of that bat. Nice piece of hitting. Looked a lot like his father on that one, able to reach that. I think he uses almost the same bat that his dad did, too. His dad used like a red and black looking one that was covered in tar. That one looked very similar. Alejandro Kirk is 0 for 3 on the day, reached on an error back in the third. That was the error made by Bobby Witt. The pitch, well inside, and it's 1-0. Blue Jays trying to scratch across a run, take a lead here in the bottom of the eighth. The set by Mills, and the pitch. Right on the outside corner, and it's 1-1. Good pitch right there. Kirk trying to measure that sidearm delivery. The set and the pitch. Well inside, able to hold off those Kirk. First base umpire, they checked down there with him just to make sure, and he did. And it's now 2-1 anyway. Looking at the replay, he did indeed hold off. And the pitch. Fastball rising in the zone, fouled away, lashed out down the first base line into the seats, and it's 2-2. The set by Mills. And the pitch. Well outside the zone, and it's 3-2 now. Ty France has just been added to the All-Star roster, the Mariner. Three and two here to Kirk. High drive out to right or out to left field, going back and gone. That ball was gone. Wow. Nice hard hit ball. The only question is, was it deep enough to get out? And it is. Blue Jays take the lead 4-2. 96 mile an hour exit velocity. That one just got over that wall by about 10 feet. Great piece of hitting there by Kirk on that 3-2 pitch, and the Blue Jays are in front for the first time today. The two All-Stars get the job done. Base hit by Guerrero. Kirk puts on the home run jacket. Nice piece of hitting. What started out as a good, promising day for the Royals just evaporated up into smoke with that base hit. Bichette takes the first one over to Nicky Lopes, and he is retired on one pitch. Mills is wondering why couldn't that have been the last hitter? Nice piece of hitting. I wasn't sure off the bat if he got underneath it a little bit too much, but he got it out. Those power numbers coming through for Kirk. Teoscar Hernandez digging in with one away here in the bottom of the eighth. Takes one just off the inside corner, and it's 1-0. Blue Jays just took a two-run lead on that two-run home run by Alejandro Kirk. If you're just joining us, Royals took a 1-0 lead early in the first, scratching across a run, manufacturing it. In the second, Prado hit the solo shot off of Barrios. In the third, a error by Bobby Witt Jr. allowed a run to score, and then another run to score on a sacrifice fly with the next batter on a double play ball that should have ended the inning instead. Since then, it's been a pitcher's duel up until Bubeck was lifted for Mills here in the eighth. Mills allowed a base hit to Guerrero off the very end of the bat, and then that home run by Kirk makes it a 4-2 Blue Jay lead here in the bottom of the eighth. Foul ball there by Hernandez, and it's 1-2. The pitch, right down the middle, grounded foul on the third base side, remains 1-2. Mills up to 13 pitches now. Romano is starting to loosen out there in the Blue Jays bullpen. He is the closer. I believe he's also their all-star going to the game as well. Blue Jays have a number of all-stars on this roster. So you can kind of see why the disappointment where the record is and why they fired Charlie Montoyo. With as many good pieces as they haven't been able to turn it into as many wins as they would have liked. Mike Trout, as we mentioned during last night's live, was lifted for back spasms. Instead of going ahead and trying to play in the All-Star game, he decided to go ahead and not play, as we expected. Ty France was named as his replacement. Swing and a miss. Great pitch there. Slider made him chase it outside of the zone, and there's two away here in the eighth. For the Royals, it will be Pasquantino, the DH, due up first, followed by Olivares and Hicklin. Hicklin was brought on as a pinch runner for O'Hearn in the seventh. Pitch by Mills right on the outside corner. Gurriel taking all the way, and it's 0-1. Another strike right on the outside corner, 94 miles an hour, belt high, and it's 0-2. See if he comes right after Gurriel here, or if he decides to challenge him, or to avoid challenging him anyway. Gurriel requests time. Swing and a miss. He did decide to go after him, and Gurriel was very late, was not expecting that. To the ninth we go. Blue Jays take the lead on the 2-run home run by Alejandro Kirk, the All-Star able to come through for the Blue Jays. Royals down to their final 3 outs. A great start, about to go for naught for the Royals. Best start of the year for Chris Bubic. 7 innings, no earned runs, 2 unearned runs on the error by Witt. Witt just not having a good game today. Struggled offensively today, not able to get a base hit, and then had that error that allowed the Blue Jays to have those 2 runs. Got to wonder if that would have allowed Bubic to pitch that 8th inning instead of having to go to the bullpen for Mills. And then maybe, just maybe, you don't have that home run by Kirk, and you're looking at a very different game right now. But as it stands, Blue Jays are in front 4-2. 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Royals today. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Blue Jays. Got to wonder if they will pinch hit for Hicklin, but of course, 40% of their roster is still back in the States. Maybe he'll get his first hit of the year today. He will be the final chance if Pasquantino and Olivares are unable to get aboard. Remember, tonight at about 5:45, we'll be doing the MLB Draft. Top prospects include Drew Jones, Jackson Holliday, Tamar Johnson, Kevin Paredes, Cam Collier, Elijah Green, Jacob Berry, Brooks Lee, Gavin Cross, and Cade Horton. Cade Horton considered the best pitching prospect in this draft, but this draft is not about pitching prospects. It's mostly about hitters. Romano in to try to get the save here. 34 games, 3-2 record in 33 innings pitched, a 2.73 ERA, 37 strikeouts, and does have 19 saves on the year. Looking to reach the All-Star break with number 20. Blue Jays this year are tied with the Yankees for most All-Star selections. They have 6 All-Stars that have been selected. George Springer, of course, opting not to play in the All-Star game. So they currently have only 5 going. Nice pitch there, 4-seam fastball, 97 right on the outside corner. Pasquantino takes all the way. Vinny has a 211 average, 3 home runs, 5 RBIs on the year. He has not played a whole bunch after his recent call-up with the trade of Carlos Santana allowed him to have some playing time. Did have that home run yesterday. Royals hoping for some more of that magic here today. 0-2 now. And the pitch. Ooh, 99 at the top. Just missed the zone, and third base umpire says he did not go around, and it's 1-2. Blue Jays fans very pumped for their closer right now. Hoping the Blue Jays take 5 of 6 going into the All-Star break. That one was very close. Almost looked like he broke the plane, but I don't know if he completely went all the way through. Swing and a miss on that pitch in the dirt, and the slider gets him. 1 away here in the top of the 9th. If you're just joining us, make sure you hit that subscribe button and follow us on Twitter at UpsideSN. That way you know whenever we do post a video about your team, just click the link, come to our YouTube page, and watch the content. Keep you updated on everything that's happening with your favorite team from the NFL, NBA, MLB, and the NHL. 1 out here in the top of the 9th. Romano deals. I don't know why that one was called a strike. That was well below the zone compared to what he's been calling today and away, but he gets the call. Okay. That's the first pitch that's been even close to that's been called a strike today. And now he's expanded the zone on the inside of the zone, and it's 0-2. Royals getting jobbed a little bit on those last 2 calls. Olivares, 306 average, did have that RBI single back in the first to drive home Lopez. And the pitch. Airmailed all the way to the backstop. Crowd flinches, of course, as they momentarily forget the screens in front of them. A little tapper out to short, bare hand by Bichette, whips it onto first. Safe, though, is the call. Vladimir Guerrero immediately signals to the dugout for them to review it. I mean, it is the 9th. We'll see if they review, and they will. Nice bare hand play there by Bichette. Hesitated for just a second as he tried to get on his right foot to throw. Instead, threw off his back foot. Kind of a short step there by Olivares. Looking at the replay. Yep, he's out. Good challenge here by the Blue Jays. Great play by Bichette. I mean, if he hadn't had to do that bunny step right before the base for Olivares, I don't know what he was doing on that step. Maybe he thought his foot wasn't going to reach the base in time. But that's the second out of the inning. Last hope for the Royals. Hicklin will be the batter. Just a weird looking run. I mean, that was just a weird play by Olivares. He took a half step right before the base. If he'd taken his full stride, he probably would have beaten it. Swing and a miss by Hicklin. 88-mile-an-hour slider on the inside corner, and he's quickly behind 0-1. Romano set. And the pitch. Fastball 98 off the plate, and it's 1-1. Thank you guys for joining us. As I mentioned, we'll do another live later on today with the MLB Draft. That'll kick off around 6 o'clock. We will start our coverage around 5:45. Swing and a miss, another slider, this one on the outside corner right at the knees, and it's 1-2. The entire Toronto crowd now on their feet. Much happier with Toronto baseball over the last 5-6 days than they have been over the last 3 weeks. Before this recent stretch of games, they had lost 9 of 10. They've won 4 of their last 5, and swing and a miss by Hicklin make it 5 out of their last 6 as the Blue Jays have knocked off the Kansas City Royals. Your totals for today: 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Royals, 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Blue Jays. The Royals go in order in the 9th, and we are to the All-Star break. Appreciate you guys joining us for our live stream of the leadoff game on a Sunday morning, now Sunday afternoon. MLB Draft, as I mentioned, is going to kick off around 6. We'll start our coverage at 5:45. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at UpsideSN so you don't miss any videos, any information, any breaking news from your favorite team or your favorite league. We cover the NFL, NBA, MLB, and the NHL. We cover every single team. Make sure you comment. Let us know which team that you're a fan of. That way we can put out more content based on that. And the more of you guys that subscribe, the more content I can put out, the more lives that I can do. Would really love to do this for you guys every day as my job, essentially. But until we get there, until we get to that subscriber level, we won't be able to. So hit that subscribe button. Really matters a lot to us, and we appreciate you guys for joining us for our live. We'll see you guys later on this evening. Again, MLB Draft at 5:45 for us. Make sure you tune in then, and we will see you later on this afternoon. Have a good one.